My name is Knox O'Driscoll. I'm a 27-year-old freelance engineer. Today, I'd like to talk some trouble I had with my brother's wife. I'm currently single, but I don't live alone per se. Instead, I live with my older brother of 2 years, Spencer. A while ago, we were living happily together with our parents, until they passed away rather early on. We never left home when we grew up, so we just decided to live together as brothers. We aren't exactly really close, and you couldn't get any more different in looks and personalities than us. Spencer was always being gregarious, and even in school, he was among the core students of his class. Meanwhile, I'm more of an introvert, and not too competent in socializing with others. People often compared me to my brother, and a part of me was frustrated. Another part still was jealous of him. But as we grew up, I gradually softened my complicated views on Spencer. Nowadays, I work at home as a computer engineer, and Spencer works as a car mechanic. We don't have a drink together or go anywhere to enjoy the day, but we also never quarrel. We divide the housework, and we make sure not to meddle with each other. It could be because of this that we could live together without any problems. I don't have any complaints about my life at the moment. But when it comes to my private life, Spencer is just far more active. The reason is because of his girlfriend. Her name is Carmen, and we were introduced to each other at one point, but…
Nice to meet you. You really don't look alike, huh? Not gonna lie, you seem like a geek, lol.
Those are her first words to me. She's my age, and I don't think she meant any harm. But that straight-to-the-point trait of hers wasn't to my liking. I don't often see her during normal life, and I also don't want to meddle with my brother's love life, so I didn't really care. But one day, she struck a nerve.
Hey, you got a minute?
I do, what's up? What a surprise, you DMing me during work.
I have a favor to ask you, if that's cool.
Depends on what it is.
I would like you to let Carmen live at our place for a while.
Bro.
Oh, come on, don't be so blatantly against the idea.
Think about it, man. Living with your own brother's girlfriend? No one would like that idea, I think. In any case, why?
Yeah, she quit her job. She can't pay her bills anymore and has to move out soon. She says she'll be rendered adrift to the streets if this keeps up. She's in a crisis, dude.
I get it.
Please, bro. My one wish for my entire life.
Spencer told me what you just saw. My first thought was, no, God, please, no. But no matter how much I disliked the girl, I couldn't just let her go homeless. And it was also the first time my brother had genuinely begged me to do something. I couldn't refuse. The day when Miss Carmen would join us came soon enough.
Oh, you were such a huge help. Thanks for letting me stay, Knox.
Make yourself at home. I was gonna try hard to push away from my feelings of resentment, but…
But seriously, are you alright with all the time that you spend here at home? Are you unemployed?
As usual, this arrogant attitude. Honestly, I really don't think we're gonna get along. Like I said previously, I work at home, and my brother has a factory job. So naturally, I would be at home with her much more than my brother. Her lifestyle was picture-perfect laziness. Leaving things lying around, trash and clothes alike was universal. She never cooked, nor did the laundry, and from early afternoon, she would take to drinking and become a most shameful sight to behold. Spencer had some degree of carelessness, but this was infinitely worse. Furthermore, although this was under the pretext that she would be looking for another job, but she doesn't seem to be keeping that promise. And all she does is stay in a drunken daze from all the midday alcohol. I could still cope with that, but…
Hey, listen, the scotch is gone. Didn't I tell you to buy more before it ran out?
Recently, she started treating me like a butler. What was worse, when I wanted to focus on my work, of all times, she'd invite her friends over and create a huge ruckus.
For real? I'm telling you for real.
Of course, all of this without my permission. So loud, goddammit! This happened every day. And as time went on, I accumulated a lot of stress, and this reflected itself in my work. I'd had enough, and I decided to protest this madness to Spencer. Hey, how long will she stay here?
Oh, Carmen?
Who else? I see her very often these days, and I don't see her searching for another job, you know? I can't stand that attitude of hers.
Oh, calm down, dude. That's not my fault. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Nothing will change with your apology, bro. Could you just please tell her to find another job?
Yeah, about that. I actually just had something to tell you.
Yeah?
So, I got to talking with her, and good news. She's been offered a permanent by my side.
Which would mean…
Yup, we're getting married.
Okay, everything's so messed up right now. This was supposed to be a temporary kindness, but marriage? At first, I thought that they would kindly leave the house after they tied the knot, but that optimism was quickly squashed. Her belongings continuously raided our place, and new furniture was being transported here. In other words, she was all set on moving in here. In this manner, my situation became one where I'll be living with my brother and his wife. Mind you, there was nothing about this that I found particularly appalling, but as newlyweds, they quickly transformed the house atmosphere into one of mushy sentimentality. I get the feeling that I'm intruding on something just by walking into the living room. I sometimes happen to find them making out as I come into the living room, and just seeing them inseparable on the couch makes it unbearable to be there with them. I couldn't be helped though, so I shoved myself in my room as much as I could, and I often made measures to block out any distracting sounds. However, one day, when I was about to go into the living room, I heard them arguing. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but I overheard what the argument was about, and I was shell-shocked.
Hey, when's the brother of yours gonna move out? Normally he would understand and get the hell out of here, right?
Don't talk that way, honey. This is the house where he was born and raised after all.
But then this newlywed thing is ruined. We're too wary around him.
Shocker. To think that this girl had the notion of compassion towards other people. What she was saying was that even though she intruded on our lives, she wanted to kick me out. And all she ever does is drink alcohol all day. Oh, the goddamned audacity. To be frank, I thought about leaving then. But it would be frustrating if I let myself leave because of that bitch. I decided to wait a little while longer. Until one fateful day, I was working on a huge project that was gonna take a huge amount of time. I was not to be distracted by anything, and I was glued to my computer screen the whole day with my trusty headphones. The first true break I could get was around 10 p.m. I decided to take a breather, and when I went onto the veranda from my room, I beheld the most unbelievable sight. When I looked down upon our once proud backyard, it had turned into a land full of leftovers, bottles, cans, dishes, and even something that could be recognized as vomit. It was the work of a group of satanic monstrosities during a frickin' barbecue. Not a sign of anyone, just this disgraceful sight. I was so blown away by such an atrocity, I could do nothing but stand in awe on the veranda for a while. Spencer was out in the countryside for some business, so the culprit was clear. I rushed down the stairs and hollered, "Miss Carmen, what's the meaning of…" If that was even possible, I became even more shocked. The living room was absolutely ghastly. How does one live to create this swirling vortex of entropy? Among the chaos, a few men and women were asleep, including Miss Carmen, who seemed to be sleeping peacefully. As I stood completely gobsmacked by what I just witnessed, the doorbell rang.
Who do you think you freaking are? Did you just have an outdoor concert or what?
An onslaught of complaints from the neighbors. All I could do was apologize again and again and again. Why am I taking the blows here? The accumulated rage and frustration within myself finally exploded. Wake up and get the frick out! I woke up a friend group and booted their asses out of the house. Normally, one should have made them clean everything up, but there was a more pressing concern to deal with. I've had it with you! Causing discomfort to our neighbors for crying out loud! I protested adamantly to Carmen to repent and make changes around here, but she actually fought back.
You stay out of this. And also, don't you be rude to my friends, you hear me?
As the argument escalated, she became even more furious and finally showed her true colors.
Listen, prick, you're a nuisance around here. How long you gonna cling to Big Bro, eh? At least try to frickin' live under our radar since you're just a temporary guest.
Really? So I'm the temporary visitor, am I? Did Spencer tell you that?
He did. Aren't you embarrassed to be spending entire days hidden in your room without a frickin' job? Learn from your brother, god frickin' damn it.
Oh, she's really done it now. I understand. I'll get the hell out of here. But don't come running and begging at my knees later on. I gathered my things and left the house without another word. Bro, did you really move out? Yeah, turns out I'm a temporary guest anyway. I didn't know I was a parasite to you, Spencer. I'm so sorry. My dumb show-off ass got carried away, I guess. Oh, I'll talk to Carmen, so please, come back to us, bro, please. I'm sorry, man, but I don't think I can do that. At least while she's there. And also, carried away or not, I'm sick of demeaning other people, Spencer. I was keeping everything to myself because I knew that was what Mom and Dad wanted. For us to live peacefully, but even I have limits. Please, don't do anything rash. Bro, please, answer me. The main issue was Carmen's behavior, of course. But I'd also lost my patience with my brother. I mean, honestly, upholding the truth from his wife and working to become the one and only pillar of the household? The sole fact that he'd been letting that whore do what she pleases had already done so much. But this incident made me decide to relinquish him completely. A few months after I moved out, as I predicted, Carmen texts me.
Hey, what the frick did you do? I found the house in a complete heat when I came back from a trip.
Ah, welcome back. I'll cut to the chase. The house is for sale. Or rather, it was an old building, so construction people are on job demolishing it. We're gonna flatten the land and then sell that.
The frick are you doing behind our backs? Without telling Spencer, no less. No way you can do that legally.
So I guess he hasn't told you yet, huh? He told me he would explain everything to you. It was stupid of me to trust him with that small job.
The frick are you talking about?
I don't need my brother's permission, you know. The house itself and almost everything that's in it all belongs to me after all.
What? You can't be serious. Doesn't everything belong to your parents?
No, madam. Unfortunately, they are all my personal belongings. Presently, the movers and the demolishers are going in and out of the house as they please. In other words, that couple don't have any place to live. Actually, that woman is living under a dire misconception. Perhaps it would be better to say that my brother had been lying to her regarding this matter. The reason is because I was never the temporary guest. Spencer was. As I stated previously, my brother was a kind of free spirit. Even after he graduated college, he'd been living an unstable life. Sometimes he would return home, but only to ask Mom and Dad for money. And then he would disappear again. It was a perpetual loop. By contrast, I worked hard, went to university, and became a full-time computer engineer. As my brothers, you couldn't get any more different, even I know that. When Mom and Dad were still alive, when they disapproved of his behavior, they let him do whatever he wished. However, even their patience grew thin. Spencer was driving and perpetuated a vehicular accident due to carelessness and came crying back to Mom and Dad with a huge sum in medical fees and damage compensation on his shoulders. By this time, they had had enough. How stupid can you get, son? Oh, shut up, it's not my fault.
Oh, where have I gone wrong in your upbringing? I failed as a mother.
Mom, Dad, how about you break ties with this brother of mine who causes nothing but trouble for you? I had continuously protested to Mom and Dad about Spencer, but they said that they had to pay the price for being soft on their firstborn son. And in the end, they took on the responsibility of paying everything regarding the accident. As a result, the decent piece of land that Dad had inherited from my grandfather had to be sold off. But even so, he and the unchanged Spencer had had a huge argument, resulting in my brother storming out of the house. We were incommunicado for a long time after that. I now only consider you as my true son, Knox, my boy. While we were soft on our first son, you had to endure stricter things.
We don't have much, but this house and everything inside it will be changed to be under your name, honey. You do have a home job after all, so a house would be better for you, surely.
Mom, Dad, thank you both. I'll take care of you both now, all right? I admit I have a period when I hated my parents for how soft they were on my brother, but I knew they loved me as much as they loved Spencer, so I set myself on forgetting about him, and I'm working together with them. Well, with the trouble their firstborn had caused, they couldn't know what life held for them. So they quickly acted so that their estate and any insurance money would be inherited under my name. Further on, they were killed in a car accident. All the paperwork had been finished, so everything they left behind, I inherited. But on the day of their funeral, where he heard about these tidings, I'll never know, but Spencer came running back home.
Mom! Dad! This is all my fault! Well, I'll make some changes now, I promise you!
He kneeled at our parents' coffin and begged for forgiveness. However, I wasn't ready to forgive him that easily. They both said that they'd broken ties with you, Spencer, and that they no longer saw you as their son. If you came back at the right time to inherit their estate, be gone! You're not getting a penny out of me. I raised my voice, and frankly prepared myself for a physical fight against him, but
I don't want any inheritance! I promise you I'll change, and I'll find a real job, you'll see! I'm begging you, please let me come home to where Mom and Dad lived happily!
he had tears in his eyes, and I found myself unable to refuse. I allowed him to come home under the condition that he find a proper job, and he managed to do this job as a mechanic where he works ever since. By the way, after getting employed full-time, I was better for a time. But with what happened in the past, I cannot say everything had returned to normal. His spending was erratic, and of course he had zero savings. He never asked me for any money, but he also never paid anything for the house. In other words, he was a hanger-on. I never thought a guy with a checkered past like that could ever have a change of heart. But the fact that it multiplied the number of hanger-ons and that it treated the true owner of the house as one without telling the truth was something I could never forgive. The company informed me that the demolishing process was done with and desired my presence at the scene. As I came upon the site of my childhood home for the first time in a while, a couple of idiots were there waiting.
Listen, I was in the wrong. I mean, you understand the need to boast of the girl you love, right?
I'm not angry because of you bragging to your wife. Have you any idea of the pain you caused Mom and Dad? Soon after you died, you said you'd change and that you'd find a good job, but you never changed your way of living now, have you? And finally, you treated me like a hanger-on and dragged this stupid hag of yours into the whole thing. Spencer fell silent at my sharp words, and then Carmen went on clinging onto me.
My husband never meant to hurt you. Please forgive him. You've gotten so close recently. This is suddenly so cruel, you know?
Close.
He treated me like an unemployed heap of trash when he's the true hanger-on who did what he pleased. And he brought in a toxic bitch who had no manners but had a horde of monstrous friends and created so much inconvenience for our neighbors. We were close then,
But that's...
And then Spencer perked his head up, as though it understood something.
So, this land, it didn't belong to the house, right? Since Dad sold it off.
What? Seriously? You said that this land would become yours one day.
All things considered, I felt a small hint of pity towards you, Carmen, since he lied to you too. An accident that Spencer caused in the past left Dad with no choice but to sell this land, you see. In other words, my brother is not only broke, but he also has a criminal record. Carmen faints on the spot from shock. Finally, I gave the final blow to my brother. Above this land, I bought it back into our estate a couple years back.
Wait, what? But wasn't it a huge amount of money?
Unlike you, I spend my money carefully, and I've saved up lots over the months. I wanted to buy back this land one day and make Mom and Dad happy. But they passed on before I ever got the chance, but I did it anyway, out of gratitude.
If you have that much saved up, you could support us a little bit more. This time I will definitely change, for real!
And I I won't ever invite my friends back to your place and create any messes. How about it? Knox, dear. I may even throw something special in.
I ignored both of them. Checked the documents the folks had brought along, signed them, and walked away.
Don't ignore us!
Was all I heard from Spencer, but I heard nothing. Got into a taxi and left. I moved to an expensive residence with good security to prevent them from approaching me again. I had the money I got from selling the land, my savings, and above all, my good salary. When I think about how I don't have to take care of those two idiots anymore, it fills me with a sense of relief. I changed my phone, my contact info, and my phone number, but I never knew a life alone would be this fulfilling. Thanks to those two, my enthusiasm to marry had gone stone cold. And I plan to glorify the life of a single noble.